The perfect ending doesn't exist.
Wait. What the hell? Oh my God, no way.
Few things surprise me anymore. Luka Doncic joining the Lakers, forming a potential dynasty with LeBron, no eyebrows raised. Elon Musk being elected as senior advisor and doing suggestive gestures on TV, eyebrows are still in the plus-minus position. But when I first watched the ending of Code Geass, my eyebrows were dancing like mad, like, hey yo, I'm freaking Dwayne The Rock Johnson. The ending truly left me in awe, and this is probably no surprise for the people, as it is widely regarded as one of the best anime, if not the best anime ending of all time. So good, in fact, that we almost forgot the shit show that was early Code Geass. Almost. I'm still here, fellas. I'm still here. Today, I'm starting a new series called Never Ending Endings. Because
the ending lives on in your mind after it's ended.
Which is basically me talking about different endings from different shows. Starting off with like the ending. Code Geass. But of course, before we talk about the ending, I want you to remember the beginning. So don't get me wrong, I love Code Geass. But man, I gotta confess, this show is messy. I can understand that this show is an anime original, because this show tries to appeal to like 70 different kinds of genres at the same time. Like, try describing Code Geass to someone who hasn't watched it. Okay, son, can you explain this Code Geass for me? Yeah, Dad. It's a simple show about politics, robots, Sharingan-esque superpowers, high school, Japan, medieval Britain, romance, comedy, double lives, cats, and Pizza Hut.
Right.
Also, for some reason, they look like sticks.
Yeah, you should eat those at some point, though.
Yeah.
Code Geass, even though being as enjoyable and being as good as it is far from the perfect show. There are plot conveniences, and the pacing is a mixed bag. The show constantly jumps between your comedic school moments, like for example the cat episode, and then on the opposite end, having the oh shit, that guy actually died, big reveals mecha fight type episodes. Code Geass, really up to the last part of the story, really felt like a big mix of everything. But then, in the final episodes, it somehow collectively changed your mind into thinking it was a masterpiece and genius writing. So what exactly did this final episode, what did the ending do? You see, I really want to start this never-ending endings thing with Code Geass because it was so good that even some of your favorite animes have been heavily inspired or tried to copy the ending to some extent. You know. So, before we start to talk about the ending, we quickly have to go over what constitutes as an ending and how we will evaluate it. Oh, evaluate. Yes, we're using cool fancy word for this part. Yes, this is me right now. So, ending means when something ends. I mean, no shit. But what is it that actually makes for a good ending? And what purpose does an ending serve? Now there are surely 1,000 theories to what makes an ending good and bad. But I do think that we all can agree that a series that ends with plot threads unsolved are ones that are severely unsatisfying. And also what I would consider bad endings. On the opposite end, the bare minimum for a decent ending would be the answers to the biggest and most essential plot threads. I would say something even greater though is if the series goes even beyond that and ties the hanging threads to the core themes of the story, and maybe even connect it back to the beginning. That way we also understand why these questions or plot threads were there to begin with, and we can start to understand why the story was told in the first place, making the series feel complete. I grade all endings on how well they can achieve this, and you will find out that some ambitious endings may even surprise us with some new answers or themes at the very end. Now, doing this really needs its proper foreshadowing and planning. Not done enough, it will feel like cheap writing. and done well, it will feel ingenious. It's so complicated, so I'm not even gonna try to tell you how to achieve this, as I don't know how. What I can tell you though is what Code Geass did. And this is where we move on to the actual ending and how Code Geass managed to tick every single box I just talked about.
Yes, I destroy the world and create it anew.
Code Geass is a show with lots of metaphorical dialogue, which means its themes are pretty out there for you to see.
The king doesn't lead, how can he expect his subordinates to follow?
In its core essence, Code Geass is a story about war, justice, betrayal, and lies. And Pizza Hut. Bye, Pizza Hut. And we see these themes and pizza slices from the perspective of our true protagonist, Suzaku and Lelouch. Both being childhood friends and both being obsessed with justice. However, our protagonist wants different kinds of justice. Suzaku feels guilt and wants self-sacrifice for the sake of justice. And Lelouch's form of justice is revenge and a future for his sister. The vehicle we explore this team from are in the form of different weapons or powers. The Geass, symbolizing manipulation, lies, essentially the brain, and the mecha robots and nuclear weapons, symbolizing war and hatred, essentially being the brawn. Which makes for a perfect fit, as Lelouch's biggest strength is his brain, and Suzaku's strength is his physical strength and skill with these weapons. The brawn. Now, over the course of the series, with these vehicles, we explore the many different themes, but what we don't know is that we're only fed half answers. We know consequences of war, and we know war is bad, but we still don't have the answer to the endless cycle of hatred that war brings. We also see that betrayals, manipulations, and lies can get you closer to your goals of justice, but also that it severely hurts both you and those around you. These are truly complicated themes and questions, as both our protagonists have seemingly lost just as much as they have gained over the course of the series. And it is not until both these enemies, these rivals and former friends grow to understand one another that they find the solution. With the two protagonists causing each other the most problems, it's with the brain and the brawn working together that shows us the answer to all the questions the series has asked. In the final episode, with a plan of Zero Requiem. Zero Requiem should really be called the Infinity Requiem, because it answers 100 questions the series has asked, completes character arcs, and solves the conflict at the same time. Basically, the plan solves the conflict, and the roles our protagonist takes completes the character arc. How, you ask? The plan in many ways works as both atonement and redemption. By working together and taking accountability, they switch roles. Suzaku, who yearned for self-sacrifice and rejected lying in the seat, took on the role of Zero, the lie. And Lelouch, who yearned for justice and revenge, became the focus of that hate, and in reverse took on Suzaku's wish of self-sacrifice in the way of dying. This proves to us that the cycle of hatred can be broken by taking accountability, understanding the enemy, and working with another. Lies, deceit, and manipulation is still a way to hurt those around you, but the reason why we lie isn't inherently bad. With Lelouch's confrontation with Charles. Yeah, we cool like that, I call him Charles. Lelouch rejected Charles' ideas by stating that the reason we lie is a want for change. And in the final episode, they talk about how the Geass, which as mentioned earlier has represented lies, deceit and manipulation for the whole series, had found a new meaning. The Geass can also be a wish to change the future. And in that same spirit, the world was saved by one last lie, by once again putting on the mask of the hero, Zero. With that, Zero, who the whole series had been a fabricated hero in pursuit of power, this time became a true hero. By putting on the mask, the lie, not for the sake of oneself, but for the sake of others.
ありがとう。愛してる。ナナリ。
Like seriously, Aristoteles and Platon is crying in their graves by how poetic that was. Meanwhile, Oda is applauding the great foreshadowing. Excluding the confrontation with Charles, we also get a callback to episode 1, where Lelouch states the only ones who should kill are those who are prepared to be killed themselves, living up to his own justice and ideals. Also, there's the foreshadowing with Shirley's death. where he speaks about ridding the world of the curse of the Geass and its sins, which we now find out includes himself. And I mean there's much more. I mean even the visual metaphors, like Lelouch's blood gushing over the Britannian flag, representing the end of that empire, and the soundtrack Mather Sky being the single most epic and best soundtrack from the whole series, which make you tear up and salute at the same time. And this is not to mention all the other conclusions to all the other characters and the epilogue, but for the sake of not making this video too long, we're gonna bring it to a close. Code Geass delivered answers to all our questions and more in the ending, even managing to surprise us, and every part of it felt justified, earned, and well thought out. Now that's what I call a finale, and that's what I call a great ending. Well, here we are again, fellas. Another video and another reason why I'm gonna upload more. This video was actually finished in early May, but some life stuff came up that really put a dent in the video making progress. But here I am again, fully charged and fully motivated. I'm actually so happy with how this video turned out, and I hope it performs somewhat good set to my standards, because I'm so excited into making this into a series. I think endings, or never-ending endings, is one of the most fascinating things to talk about when it comes to a video format series. And I have a lot of animes, normal TV shows, and even movies that I want to talk about. Please tell me what you think of this kind of format video and tell me if you want more. If you do, my barrel is locked and loaded like I'm a Texas citizen in the 1800s waiting for someone to step onto my yard. This summer, I have only two things in mind: moving into an apartment with my lovely girlfriend and making the best content so far for you guys. If you're ready, smash like, subscribe and all that, and I'll see you in the next video, coming in under a month. Take care, fellas.